Okay, so today's lesson is looking at percentage decreases. So I suppose it's not surprising since last lesson we were looking at percentage increases. So your first task, what I want you to do is pause the video, have a crack at these questions. It's a bit of revision from 2 lessons ago when we were looking at finding percentages of amount. So have a go as many as you can. You can use a calculator and put your answers in your book. So pause the video now. Right, so hopefully you gave that a go. Here are the answers. So 50% of 700 is 350. 25% of 240. And there you go. There are those answers. So hopefully you did really well. Well done if you've got into this green zone. Those questions are a little bit difficult, especially the ones working backwards. But certainly if you're having problems with these, maybe opportunities to get in contact with me, which you can do by email to discuss any of those problems. So just quote that we're doing lesson 113, and just say question 4 from the starter question. Okay, so moving into our work today. So what we've got is we are looking at an Xbox One that is sold with Call of Duty Ghosts. So the normal price of that is $380. So what we looked at last time was putting prices up. This time we're looking at taking the prices down, and we're taking 10% off. So the first thing we want to know is, what is 10% of 380? So 10% of 380. And in past lessons, what have I said? When you get of, what does that mean? It means times. So what we have to do is we have to find 10%, which when we're doing calculations, we change to a decimal by dividing by 100 or using our calculator to 0.1. So it's 0.1 times 380, and that gives us $38, which is the really good thing about 10% is you just chop the 0 off or move the decimal place one place. So then to work out our question, if the normal price is 380 and we've got 10% off, what is the new price? So what we do is we take 380 and we take away our 38, and that gives us our new price of $3.42. Now, if that's the way you work out your answers, that's fine. The only thing is it will slow you down moving forward, and there'll be some questions that you find particularly difficult. So remember, the thing I want you to do is start thinking about using the multiplier. So we looked at the multiplier in the last lesson when we were looking at increases. How I would like you to calculate it is to do the following calculation. So 380 times, now the key thing is, in the last lesson when we were doing increases, this was a plus. Because we're doing a decrease, it's take away. So what we're doing is 100% take away 10%, which is 90%. And then what we do is divide that by 100 to get our multiplier, which is 0.9. So a 10% decrease is the same as finding 90% of something. And that fits for everything. For a 30% decrease, it's going to be 100 take away 30, which gives us over 100, which gives us 70 over 100, which is equal to 0.7. So the more practice you do of this, the easier it is to get their multiplier. And then simply all we have to do is 380 times the multiplier. And if you do 380 times 0.9, you get the same answer as you did over here, which is 342. Take a look at another example. So same thing again. We have the Lego Movie DVD, which is $8. It's now got 5% off. So first thing we want to know is 5% of $8. So it's going to be times 5% is written as 0.05 as a decimal. We times that by 8, and what we end up when we put that in our calculator is 40 cents. So the amount taken off is 40 cents. So we can do that, calculate the new price. 8 take away 40 cents gives us $7.60. Now, rather than doing it that way, finding the multiplier. So the same thing as before, but this time we're taking away 5% because it's 5% up here. So it's 100 take away 5, which is 95, divided by 100 gives us 0.95. So the multiplier is 0.95. If we do that, we end up getting $7.60, which is what the answer was. Which is what the answer was over here. So just a summary of doing a decrease. We have our original amount. We want a decreased quantity, so it should be smaller. So we take a percentage, we divide it by 100, and we take it away from 1. So, like we did last time, we're going to visit another grocery store called Let's Go, and they have a series of specials this time. So rather than the prices going up, they're going down. So you can see we've got some bread for 10% off. We've got some other bread for 15%, more bread for 30% off. We've got some juice 50% off. We've got some frozen sausages with 20% off. We've got some meat patties 40% off, some chicken curry 75% off, and some tea bags with 5% off. What I want you to do is go through and work out from the prices that are below those discounts, work out what the new price is. Now, the first stage is to work out what that multiplier is. So what I want you to do is just pause the video and work out the multiplier for 10% off, 15% off, and so on. So on a piece of paper, just write down what the multipliers are. So pause the video now. Okay, hopefully you gave that a crack, and let's have a look at what the multipliers are. So 10% off, starting over here, is 0.9. 15% off is 0.85. 30% off is 0.7. 50% off is 0.5. That's the only time when a decrease is equal to what the increase is. The decrease multiplier is equal to what the decrease is. It's just because 50 is half of 100. So 20% off is timesing by 0.8. 40% off is timesing by 0.6. 75% is timesing by 0.25. And lastly, it's gone on to a different line there. Minus 5% is timesing by 0.95. It's a bit easier to see that way. So now that you've got the multipliers, all you do is take those multipliers and then times them by their actual retail price. So pause the video now and do those calculations. Okay, well done. Let's go through them quickly. So the white loaf is $1.35. The sensation loaf is $1.02. The wholemeal loaf is 77 cents. The pure orange juice is equal to 95 cents. The frozen sausages is equal to $1.76. The quarter pounders will end up with $1.68. For the chicken curry, we end up with 35 cents. That's a bit of a steal. And the tea bags, we end up with $3.99. So hopefully you went all right with those decreases, and you got the multipliers okay. So just a quick summary of that decrease again. That's the key calculation you need to do to find that multiplier. There's some questions in your on your OneNote lesson. You can complete those.